these 10 sequences, by looking at the probability, you should tell me which sequence you think that will be the best candidate for making a subunit vaccine. Okay, you know subunit vaccine. Subunit vaccine is a vaccine which is very low molecular because it's a small protein segment, but its immunogenicity is very high. And why subunit? Because it's a small part of the whole bacteria. So we have taken a protein from Mycobacterium tuberculosis. As all of you know, it's a highly antigenic bacteria. It causes a lot of trouble. And people are desperately looking for a vaccine for it. Okay, can anybody tell me if there is a vaccine for Mycobacterium tuberculosis till now? So we are having 77 entries. Out of that first 10 only, you should give me this thing. If anybody has identified the result, you keep it with you. Tomorrow you submit. Now you tell me, who can tell me that if there is any vaccine for Mycobacterium tuberculosis?
Eight and 10. It seems like high probability, the highest probability. Does that mean they have?
That is right. Absolutely right. The sequence with the highest probability near to 1. If it is 1, it's excellent. If it is less than 1, So, what is the chat box? Fine. Very good. BCG, you are absolutely right. Shayak Mondal has answered nicely. Now I give you some data on BCG. Okay, very interesting point. I'll come back to the whole thing, but I must address this particular issue. So BCG, Bacillus cometi guerin, was a subunit vaccine of Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Now, what was the practice in Asian countries? Mostly in developing countries, because Mycobacterium tuberculosis is a bacteria which basically infects people with low immunity, and basically it has been seen in multiple studies that a low socioeconomic background is directly proportional to the exposure of Mycobacterium tuberculosis. This is exactly the opposite of breast cancer. Breast cancer is present in rich people. Mycobacterium tuberculosis, then malaria, then dengue, and all other things are present in low socioeconomic background. Okay. Now, what has happened in India, in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, all ASEAN countries, BCG was a regular norm. Because you people are kid, and I think that if somebody is from Africa, their parent would also have a large a round coin-shaped thing in their shoulder. Okay, that was the BCG. BCG was usually given intradermally by a mechanism which is like punching your skin and introducing the antigen. And therefore, even it is there in my shoulder, there is a large coin-like area which everybody can see that some vaccine has been introduced. Okay, so it was very painful, and it was less effective also, because in Indian subcontinent 90% people have taken BCG. Despite of taking BCG, there is no many people died due to Mycobacterium tuberculosis infestation. Now, why is this so? Because the vaccine itself is not very successful. Okay, and these days BCG is discontinued. Nobody gives BCG. Why? Because it is of no use. Mycobacterium tuberculosis is another example of a bacteria which undergoes rapid mutation on the surface of its LPS, and eventually the vaccine loses its shine. Okay, so BCG was correct. It was been given regularly, but now it has been discontinued because of the because of the ICMR as well as WHO guideline, which specifically says that it is of no use. Okay, and anybody does a Mantoux test. Mantoux test is a test to identify whether a person has been exposed to this Mycobacterium tuberculosis, live Mycobacterium tuberculosis or not. In Indian subcontinent, 90% people will be Mantoux test positive. Okay, I do not know how you have understood all this discussion. The foreigners would have much difficulty to understand. Anyway, no, this was an example. Okay, now we'll